Slow motion, drone footage of the snow-capped Swiss Alps. Golden hour light. Cut to a beautiful, smiling couple drinking champagne on a luxury chalet balcony. Soft, romantic classical piano music playing. Suddenly, the music warps, slows down, and stops. A low, ominous bass drone takes over. Narrator, Switzerland. A playground for the rich. A paradise of crisp air, luxury chalets, and postcard-perfect landscapes. For 29-year-old Elena Vance, this vacation was supposed to be the celebration of her first wedding anniversary with her charming, wealthy husband, Julian. Quick flashes of a designer watch, a black credit card, and Julian smiling warmly at the camera. Narrator, Julian was everything Elena had ever dreamed of. Devoted. Wealthy. A successful investment banker who showered her with love and security. But high up in the isolated, freezing peaks of the Swiss Alps, the perfect image was about to shatter. Visual, dramatic cut to a dark room. Rain or heavy snow beating against a glass window. A close-up of Elena's eyes, wide with absolute terror. Narrator, because on the 5th night of their trip, Elena found something she was never supposed to see. And in a single moment, her glamorous dream vacation transformed into a desperate. She realized the man sleeping next to her wasn't her protector. He was her executioner. Title card drops onto the screen with a loud, heavy thud. The Swiss Vacation Nightmare. Part 1. The Perfect Man, The Perfect Lie. B-roll of London or New York financial districts. Archival photos of a young Elena, independent, working at an art gallery. Narrator, to understand how Elena ended up trapped in a remote Swiss chalet, we have to look back 2 years earlier. Elena was an independent art curator. When she met Julian at a gallery opening, she was instantly captivated. He was sophisticated, articulate, and independently wealthy. He completely swept me off my feet. Elena's journal, within 6 months, they were married. Julian insisted on handling all the finances, urging Elena to quit her job to travel the world with him. He bought a luxury apartment. He paid for every lavish dinner. To Elena's friends and family, she had won the lottery of life. Visual. Flash forward back to the Swiss Alps. A rental SUV driving up a winding, dangerous mountain road surrounded by thick pine forests. In December, Julian surprised Elena with a trip to a secluded, high-end chalet in Zermatt, Switzerland. It was miles away from the main tourist hubs. Total isolation. Total privacy. Julian claimed he wanted them to have no distractions. But as the heavy winter snow began to block the roads, the isolation started to feel less like romance, and more like a cage. Part 2. The Discovery in the Dark. Visual, midnight setting. The interior of a dimly lit, wood-paneled chalet. The camera pans down a dark hallway toward a glowing laptop screen. It was 2 a.m. on their 5th night. Julian was fast asleep, heavily sedated by a sleeping pill he took for his travel anxiety. Elena's phone had lost signal, so she decided to use Julian's satellite laptop to email her mother. Visual, close-up of a mouse cursor clicking on an open browser tab, revealing bank documents and legal PDFs. Julian had left his browser open. What Elena saw made her breath catch in her throat. It wasn't investment portfolios. It was a web of lies. Visual, red circles highlight key text on the screen: account overdrawn, notice of foreclosure, identity fraud investigation. Julian wasn't a wealthy banker. He was a bankrupt con artist. Every luxury item, every vacation, and even their apartment was funded by massive, unpaid loans taken out in other people's names. He was facing imminent arrest back home. But it got worse. Much worse. Visual, a document with the bold header: Life insurance policy. Elena clicked on a recently downloaded PDF. He completed it was a life insurance policy taken out in her name just 3 weeks before the trip. The payout? $5 million. The policy included a specific clause: the payout would double in the event of an accidental death abroad. A map of the local Swiss terrain showing steep cliffs and hiking trails marked "dangerous in winter." Elena looked out the window at the pitch-black, freezing mountain peaks. Then, she looked at the desk. There was a printed itinerary for a sunrise hike Julian had planned for them in just 4 hours. A hike along an unmonitored, icy cliff edge. The truth hit her like an avalanche. Julian didn't bring her to Switzerland to celebrate. He brought her here to die. Part 3, The Escape Through the Alps. Elena frantically packing a small backpack in the dark. Putting on heavy winter boots. Walking out into a raging snowstorm. Panic screamed at her to wake him up, to confront him. But Elena knew that if she showed any suspicion, she would never leave that mountain alive. With no cell service and the nearest town miles away down a frozen road, she had only one choice. Escape on foot. Night vision or low-light footage of a figure walking through deep snow. Heavy breathing sounds fill the audio track. At 3:15 a.m., in sub-zero temperatures, Elena slipped out into the blizzard. She had no flashlight, relying only on the faint moonlight reflecting off the snow. Every step was agonizing. The wind howled at 40 miles per hour. If she stopped to rest, she would freeze to death. If she took a wrong turn, she would fall off a hidden cliff face. Cut back to the chalet. The sun is beginning to rise. The laptop is open. Julian's bed is empty. Back at the chalet, Julian woke up early for his planned hike. He found the empty bed. He found his laptop open to the insurance documents. He knew she knew. High-speed footage of car headlights cutting through the morning fog on a mountain road. Julian grabbed his car keys. Elena, freezing and exhausted, heard the roar of an engine echo through the valley behind her. He was hunting her. Part 4, The Aftermath and Justice. Bright flashing blue and red police lights reflecting off the snow. A Swiss police station. Elena's desperation saved her life. Instead of staying on the main road where Julian could easily spot her SUV, she had scrambled down a dangerous, steep embankment into a lower valley. Cold, frostbitten, and running on pure adrenaline, she finally reached a small railway station just as a morning train arrived. Archival mugshot of Julian. Courtroom sketches or text overlays detailing the sentencing. She threw herself into the station office, screaming for help. Swiss authorities acted immediately. Julian was intercepted at a border checkpoint trying to flee into Italy. Drone shot pulling back from the snowy mountains, fading into a dark, solemn screen. The investigation revealed a horrifying history of Julian grifting multiple women, but Elena was the first he attempted to kill. Julian was extradited and sentenced to 22 years in a maximum security prison for attempted murder and financial fraud. Elena survived the freezing night, but the scars of the betrayal remain. It stands as a chilling reminder that sometimes, the most dangerous monsters are the ones who buy us champagne, smile for the camera, and promise to love us forever.